Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're taking a look at the audition portion of the middle class group 1 of Street Man Fighter. So this is going to be where we watch I believe it's 2 people per little representative group. And I have no idea whose choreo they chose, nor have I seen the concept video or anything, so I have no idea who they picked. And it's gonna be really fun to kind of just dive into just this, and I'm excited. Let's just get into it. Let's do it.
Third, the first middles.
First middle. Oh my gosh, did they pick all days? Yes, they did! Oh, I'm a fan! I'm so glad they did! Oh, B2B is trying for this. Wow! Yeah! All day is murdering this choreo, probably because it's theirs. I really like Phil Dog's attempt of this a lot. Oh, so fun! Can I just say, I'm so glad they picked this choreo because it was so it's so fun to watch. And I think I said a note about how somebody from 1 Million, I would love to see him do this choreo, and now I get to see him do it. I haven't seen him yet, but anyway, yeah, shout out to All Day for this one. Fabuloso on this mess. Okay, let's talk through it. Bless B2B. I really like their choreo that they did, but I feel like All Day is going to be one of the crews to beat for this, not only because of their the choreographic retention, because they didn't have to learn new information. They also got cleaner, and they were very clean from the get-go. They're probably the cleanest that we have seen from all of the duos. Yeah, so even just from the top with the throw over, you know, I would say that my B2B guys, they're not really utilizing their arms as much as at all. They're not using their hips nearly as much. They're also not retaining the choreography. So first thing, cleanliness and timing. If your timing is off and you're not clean or matching the energy of the person next to you, that's automatically going to make people look at you, what you're bringing to the table, a little bit more with a critical eye, right? But they're doing the best they can, though. I feel like they are throwing away a lot of the arms. With a lot of this choreo, it does help to use the back more than just the arm. Using the back helps create the strength in the full range that you need to execute. And that's something that you'll notice with All Day, is that they do that. I like that. Do-do-do-doom. Like, that was so strong from them. Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of things with the usage of the hip, or with the usage collaboration of the arch of the back with the head and the neck really helps create and frame some of these intentions with these moves. And I feel like with B2B, they're too busy just making sure they get the choreo right. Is really what I think, like, what they're worried about. Yeah, so I think just all in all, I think B2B did better the second time. I got to see more of their personality. Yeah, it's around like da-da, boom. Like, I think you can take like a cool approach with this. I just think it's really fun to watch. This is so freaking fun to watch, guys. Yeah. Yeah, with the lean into it. Like, this is what All Day's doing, is they're leaning in, using that torso, and a lot of, and what B2B's doing is they're kind of just placing the arms. Little details like that that really can enhance and make it appear the kind of groove that you want it to be. B2B is doing a much better job in the second one. They're trying to be in sync a little bit more. That little, how they hit that was nice. Yeah, so, but I will say out of the two, I would pick All Day all day for that one. That was sick. Let's go ahead. We're gonna move on to I have three more of these little groupings to get through. Let's do it. We1 Boys and Ambitious.
First middles.
I love this choreo, and I really think like, oh, he's forgetting it. They're forgetting it. You got it. We1 Boys is holding on, but these boys, man. There are certain accents that you have to hit in a certain there's a level of femininity to this that I really feel like they're too stiff in the hips, and they're not utilizing the neck, and they're not using the back as much as they need to for this kind of choreo. Okay, taking a look back here, I'm going to be honest, I don't think either of these groups, because right now I watched the choreographers all day go against, they are going to be the team to beat for this, and I don't think either of them rose to the challenge. They're very stiff in the back. So whenever you hit, you have to allow looseness in the chest to really pop off in opposition, to allow this to really pop or accent. And then whenever you hit that, going down into these moves, boom, you have to have a level of, it's really hard to explain. I know I'm a girl. I know I'm a lady. So there's certain postures that I'm naturally more inclined to fall in comparison to like the grunge masculine posture. So, and I just realized I'm gonna have to watch Prime Kings do this too. I'm so excited. Okay, but whenever you hit these, I really feel like most of this would be better explained having an example like Prime Kings, because they are so like, they have the most masculine style. It's so night and day, all days in Prime King. They're so different. And so oh man. I'll keep explaining though. But something that we're just noticing here is that they're not using their back in their range. I would say We1 Boys did a little bit, but you can't just try to get through the choreo. You have to commit to it in order to even be close. And I don't feel like they're committing in some aspects of it, but notice that they're staying linear with the torso here, and they're not allowing the hips to help dip to create more leverage for that hinge that you're doing in the upper body. It just looks like they're trying to do choreo. Boom, boom. I like the lower half of what they approached We1 Boys did for that little section. Like that right there is really good. I just feel like the arms are not committed as much in the energy of the focal point of the arms. That's really my big note for We1 Boys in general when they do other people's choreography. They just look lazier. Because but it's not lazy. I know it's their fingerprint, or that's how they vibe and they groove, but sometimes it comes across as lazy when the choreography is not this and it doesn't work with that kind of pocket. And they're trying to keep, and that's the big thing too with a lot of these groups, they're keeping with their pocket or their groove that makes them who they are, which I appreciate and I like, and sometimes groups get lucky whenever their choreography gets chosen because they get to really vibe in the pocket. And I love the fact All Day's choreo got chosen here because we really got to see it thrive, right? And we got to see this type of energy here in the show, and I love it. Yeah, but that da-da-da-da. They're holding it down, but also no, they forgot like a huge chunk. So they pulled a wolf flow is what I would call that. We1 Boys is holding on to it. They're clean, but but look, with one of my guys, I think it looks like one of them forgot to drop, and he is going for it. And they're just having a good time. They're like, we're here, trying our best. Yeah, so I would say one of them is really committed, and then he's forgetting some of the stuff. And I have a feeling I said that about their choreo. I feel like I said the same thing when I watched their choreo. But they were very clean in their choreo. That boom, boom. They're catching it up. Way to catch back in. Yeah, and then they're going again. Here we go. I like that boya. I'd say both of them they're doing a much better job the second run through. But notice, This looks like Hoya, so I'm just gonna commit, even though his name tag doesn't read Hoya. I know Hoya is the stage name that he used for Infinite. I just never learned his actual name. Shame on me, but I'm assuming that's Hoya right there. How they're hitting it, they're way more in sync this time. My Wait 'em Boys guys are still revving it up in that laid back pocket when it's not calling for a laid back pocket. You know, but they are in unison. I love how they're trying to pop off, but what Hoya did is whenever he went back, some of his, there was like, it kind of got caught. You notice that? Like whenever he did it, it's because we're not used to using that range. A lot of times your joints, the range of your joints, the order in which how you execute it can get a little bit lost, right? And so I think, because I've experienced that too whenever I'm learning a new sequence of choreo. Honestly, I freaking love this choreo a lot. I may learn it. I don't know. I love it. I'm just such a vibe in these kind of pockets. They're so fun. This is so tiring too. Can we just talk about that? So much energy is required to do this. Da 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 da. Like they're normally just go do 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 do, and there's like some silence. So having a bit of a not dead space, but like presence, but it's more tense and peeled back. I think they were a little bit too early in dropping into the bass there. Yeah, that was way more in sync that time. Let me compare. They did it. Okay, so he caught back to what he needed to do, so that was good. Okay. Boom, boom. Let's go. Okay, so in all, would I pick either of them as main dancer from that? I would not. I think All Day is still my pick. We still got 2 more videos to watch. Let's do it. Okay, we have 1 mil. YGX. Here we go. I get to see him do it. Ah. Okay. Okay. It feels like 1 mil. For that little section, they were not on time. Either time I saw them do that. I don't know if they just thought it was different or that was their choice. Okay, so taking a look here, I know we have 1 more video after this. I really liked what Yumiki did. However, remember, this is not just him doing it. It's both of them doing it, and both times, there was an issue in timing, I think, that I had never seen until I saw them do it. So, now they had essence. They had more essence than any other group, and I think YGX held on really well too, but they made some big mishaps as well. I still feel right now that Ote is probably, because, I mean, they were clean and they had hit the energy and it looked really nice. I will say though, with All Day, there are certain grooves that they hit that don't fall into the enmeshment of the other layers of the song. The other grimy aspects or extra level of pockets you could add to it that makes it feel a little bit more full. There's some other stuff that really feels not one-dimensional, but it can come across that way. So I think that, I don't know who the judges were looking for. I think if they picked Ode, I'd have no complaints because they murdered this choreo, you know, but I think, what is it? My guy from YGX, he started early. He dropped like a millisecond too early, but setting your tone not clean for this, you want it to be the same. I will say though, he's holding it down with him very well. I was surprised by that. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting night and day, and they are holding it very well. But like this right here. He went too fast right here. He did. And I think Yumiki did it at the right timing on the da-da-da-da, you know? And what they're doing is they're experiencing the same thing that Ambitious did with their arms. You notice that they're really trying to force the arm, but they're not using their back. And that's why that movement looks so restricted. So I think that's YGX's biggest issue, and that just shows you they're not super familiar with this aesthetic, and they're not utilizing the hip to neck to back utilization that makes this pocket work. I will say what 1mil's bringing to the table, are they like as crisp clean as Ote? They're not. What they are bringing is they are providing a certain level of fullness through some of these grooves, and it just feels full. It feels complete. It doesn't feel like we're doing choreo, which I don't think Ote, that's how I feel with them. But I do think that 1mil is bringing a really nice essence to the table that is different and is very full. That is a bit challenging to All Day and how they're doing it. And when they hit, there's like this extra, you know, it's not like a da-da-da-da, you know, it's a da-da-da-da, like it's just a different, I would call it a different octave of movement quality, if that makes sense. Part of me wishes that 1mil wore the same outfit like this, because I think it would have looked cleaner. I think that, you know, but also it doesn't matter. Your outfit doesn't matter in this. It does help psychologically. Yeah. But I like this little sequence that YGX is doing here. But I would say one of them didn't fully peel up through the movement like the other one did. I will say out of everybody, I would say 1mil is really the only one outside of Ote that did this effectively. Like effectively. And I kind of called, because I've already seen Yumeki, like I've seen his posture and I've seen how he moves. I kind of low-key was expecting that, but I wasn't expecting them to be so clean. Yeah, so what's happening is my dancers over here, they're utilizing their power too much in their, not in their chest, but they're utilizing too much power in their legs in comparison to the back. It's weird, but it's just where you choose to utilize your power does make a difference. I think I said this with was it the other Alte duo from Middle Class 2? They ran into the same problem where they were utilizing their chest in these grooves versus the hips whenever the pockets of the grooves of the choreo given during that challenge catered more in the hips. And that was my point there. I'm glad we get to see Alte's choreo here, though. I think I've already said that many times. I am a fan of it. Yeah, and they're still off here. I don't know if it was just, I don't know if that was just what it was. I don't know. But they committed to it, and it looked off both times, so it kind of looked like a creative difference. I will say, though, what's happening is my dancer right here with 1mil, he didn't really use that boom, boom nearly as effectively as Yumeki, so we're starting to see some differences. Yeah, it just looks like he's getting, not tired, but he's starting to lock up just a little bit of his movement. Back to back, I would say he rushed just a little bit with his leg. You can tell whenever he decided to kick it, so watch. Yeah, so he hit that, and then he held it, and everybody else popped it where it needed to pop. I like the okay. One of them went okay, one of them went okay. I like that. That was subtle and fun. Yeah, that was cool. Now I know we have one more to watch. Let's go ahead and watch it. Prime Kings and Just Jerk. I wanted to see Prime Kings do this choreo so bad. Here we go. S1 is doing so well. Prime Kings is trying. They're trying right now. They are trying. I can tell Just Jerk's getting a little bit fatigued in their second run through. But they are clean though. Wow. Okay, so what a joy. So Prime Kings just exhibited the beautiful, perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. I knew they were gonna dance it like that, because when you have such a masculine posture that's more concaved, it's the complete it is the opposite posture of this style, the opposite. And when you don't train in it, like I've had to train mighty hard to understand an Afro pocket in comparison to a waving pocket, in comparison to popping or breaking or light feet or ballet or jazz. All of them are different pockets, and they're different postures of how you choose to go about the movement. So I know that Prime Kings had the biggest disadvantage out of everybody. It would have been the same as if Prime Kings did their choreo, Ote would have been operating as the disadvantaged crew because of their preference of style representation. Now, I will say the first round of Just Jerk was really clean and very competitive. I will say it started to lose its luster come the second round. But I will say they are a bit restrictive in that back. They are, but look here, it matters. They're pushing the butt back and creating this angle. That's what you need to have. But look, they don't make that angle. You have to have this little angle here. They don't. There needs to be a curve, and they're not curving. The curve is not curving, you know. Also, they're not utilizing. They're used to using their back in such a different way, in a tense way. They're not used to an exploding of energy and striking. They're not used to striking. They're used to jabs, and it's very different in technique and how you hone in the tenseness of those muscles. I would say I love S1's take. I love how he's doing this. You know, I love the fact that they're wearing something similar. It's really fun. I would say with Prime Kings, bless them, they are not on top of it on the cleanliness side or on the technique side or timing. I would say my big thing with Just Jerk is their arm usage. I feel like if they really, really committed to the full range of the arm, it would have looked that much more powerful. But this is one heck of a run from them, though. Yeah, very clear. You can see the dynamics. It feels like the textbook version of what we saw from Ote. It's what it feels like. Ote provided that extra level of essence and posture, but it feels like Just Jerk provided the textbook equivalence of that. Prime Kings, I would say, especially with my guy in the green, bless him, I really feel like he's trying so hard to learn the choreo, right? But I think Ambitious ran into that problem. They blanked out too. Yeah, they're just not committing. They're not committing to the posture, but I don't think they've trained in it before. This could be one of the first times they're exposed to this. But with both of them and Just Jerk, they do have a studio. So I feel like they are in classes, or they may have been exposed to these types of techniques or these types of stylistic postures way more than Prime Kings, and I think that really helps, or most compared to others. And I think 1mil too also is exposed in that way, which is why I think it works for them as well. YGX, I think a little bit, but not as much as these two crews because they have studios. But I know YGX has a studio too. The boom boom, like I love that. I'm really impressed because I know S1's more of a popper. Mad impressed with his range and diversity of style, but I kind of was expecting that a little bit because I've been following Just Jerk for longer than most of the crews. But now we got to take note here. You can already start to tell a little bit more fatigue. It's a little bit more tense in that upper part of the arm. I think that Prime Kings, they're trying to stay more in sync. I think the second run, they always get a little bit more in sync. Yeah, I think my other guy too in black, I think that he is just not really, with the arms, his range is just a little bit off here, you know, not really fully. I think that's what makes me think that they're kind of running out of steam, is they're not able to throw it as aggressive as they did in their first run. Which, one heck of a first run though. Yeah, it's just Prime Kings, I don't think they understand the choreographic musicality of where a lot of these moves were supposed to go because it's new. So whenever you learn, just like when you learn a new language, sometimes you don't quite know where certain verbs or subjects or objects go into a sentence structure of the language, dance works a very similar way. Whenever you have, in a choreographic sense, whenever you have this technique of information, how you tailor it to the music that you choose also factors in, how do I start, how do I finish, what is the dynamic calling for here, am I going on the lyrics, what layer are you going on, and the timing, how long am I holding it, when, what is my range, and how stable am I in the execution. Do I want to have a reverb at the end of it, do I want, you know, a lot of those choices are made in the choreographic process. But in battling, a lot of that, your music, they're tailored to a different genre of music. I honestly, GROUP1 has a very different base to it. It also, the structure of the patterns is different as well. And the content that they're learning here, I feel like they're very new to it, and so they don't know where the content meshes with the music. For me, I go do. I know that's supposed to go there because I'm familiar with body rolls and their usage on runs and vibratos and usage from transitioning through different vocalization. They are not really used to that, and that's why they're struggling to catch the musicality, because this is a very different genre of music. Even though it's hip hop, it's not the same as GROUP1. And the pocket that they're exploring in this is not something that they're used to either. So that's just my big note that I want to factor in and give grace to Prime Kings on. They're really doing their best here. Yeah, it just really looks like Just Jerk. It's just a lot that they're really popping off and trying here. Yeah. Okay. So I would say out of all 8, my top 3, I would say Ode, 1 Mil, and Just Jerk. Those are the 3 that I think exuded the qualities best. Do I think Just Jerk should get main dancer? I feel like Ode should get it over Just Jerk. With 1 Mil, I can see them possibly getting picked because they're very clean. You also have to think about who they were dancing against. You also, if there was another call out, like they brought it down to a top 4 or a top 2, I can see how maybe doing a direct comparison. I don't have a video of that, so I can't really do that here. I would pick, honestly, I would pick either Ode or 1 Mil. Out of my preference, I really like the cleanliness of Ode a lot, and I like their presence, and they've been consistent through the entire process. With 1 Mil, I like some of the energy choices they made. They are slightly different than Ode, so I think it may go up to preference for a lot of these people. I don't know, but that would be my pick. And I will find out who wins this whenever I watch the concept videos later, because they showcase who the main dancer is and stuff. So I'll know if it was 1 Mil, Just Jerk, or Prime King. I will be surprised if Prime Kings get selected, but that doesn't mean they didn't put one. You know, they tried. You know. And that's how I feel too, is with Prime Kings in these choreo. I know that they are definitely operating on a deficit, because this is definitely the opposite of what they normally have as their forte, you know. But anywho, this was wild. This was so fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. I cannot wait for the discussions on all of these. I've really been enjoying the dance rank mission, looking through the choreographies first and then looking at the audition, because I feel like I get to do multiple guesses. And I love the fact that I'm kind of not really knowing, at least in these 3 contexts, I have no idea who won any of these, and so I think it makes it even more fun in this process, especially for the discussions. But yeah, thank you guys again, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.